Assalamu alaikum, Mariam.
Walaikum assalam, ma'am. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine, alhamdulillah.
I'll be taking two classes for the assignment and again one more class for the lecture as well. We will be completing the first half of LO3 today and then the rest in the second lecture, inshallah. Okay. Understand the international markets in which business operate. That is, first we will tell and I'll define you that what international markets are and in what kinds of businesses, organizations, corporate sector they work, they perform. An international market refers to the global arena in which businesses engage in the exchange of goods, services, and resources across the national borders. That is, the import and export of the goods and services both. This involves activities such as exporting, importing, establishing joint ventures, franchises, and creating subsidiaries into foreign countries. That is how we expand our markets, and from the national market, local, regional market, domestic market, it becomes the national or multinational, international, and the multinational. International markets is crucial for the business that operate globally. This involves comprehending various factors such as cultural differences, economic environments, legal and regulatory frameworks, market demand, and competition. Now, in the international market, we are exporting and importing the goods and services. We are working on the joint ventures and franchises. But other than this, what we're doing, we are combating up with the cultural differences as well. So many cultures are under roof at one place. Then economic environments. In my country, the economic stability is very unstable at the moment. But if I compare it with the developed nations, America, China, and Canada, again, it is quite volatile. So the terms and conditions are going to be different. Then the legal frameworks are also different. The laws and regulations here in Pakistan are different. In the other country, it is different. So that is what the problem is. We all want to do the international businesses, but there are pros and cons attached to it as well. The cultural differences,
Yes, ma'am.
adaptation to the local taste. For example, McDonald's, a global fast food giant, has adapted its menu to cater to the local tastes in India. Given the large vegetarian population, McDonald's introduced the items like the McAloo Tikki, a potato-based burger, and the McVeggie. Additionally, beef is not served in Indian outlets to respect the cultural and the religious sentiment. So when we talk about the international businesses and the chains, then the first point which comes is always the international differences. There we cannot slaughter the cow and we cannot eat beef openly. That is why the McDonald they changed the strategy of the menu there. Then cultural sensitivity. This adaptation shows the importance of understanding cultural preferences and restrictions in the different markets. That is, you cannot eat even the small insects in the other nations other than the China, because those people they love to eat these stuffs. So these are again the culture differences. Economic environment, for example, Apple in China. First of all, the market potential and then the economic shifts. China represents a significant market for the Apple due to its large population and growing middle class. Apple's strategy in China involves offering premium products to a demographic that increasingly values high quality and prestigious brands at the same time, the prestigious one. So, what happened is, Apple itself is a quite big brand, but according to the demographics, nation, country, uh, you can say niche target of the market, they develop the strategy accordingly, their products. Economic shifts. Understanding the economic environment, including consumer purchasing power and economic policies, it helps the Apple tailor its marketing and pricing strategies. Like in Pakistan, it is very expensive, and when we pre-book it, it again becomes quite expensive. But in the other countries, like what do we call it? If we buy it from UK, London, or Reading, then it is quite less expensive as compared to our own nation. So that is what a comparison is. And then what do we have? Economic environments. Okay. Is it clear to you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Legal and regulatory frameworks. Here the example is about the Uber in Europe. First of all, legal and regulatory frameworks are all the laws and regulations which are applied by the government, and all the organization needs to follow it no matter what. The first one, regulatory compliance. Uber has faced various legal challenges in the European countries due to the stringent transportation regulations. In some countries, Uber had to change its business model to comply with the local laws governing the taxi services. Like, if I talk about my country, they have introduced a new name app called Gango. What they are doing is they are literally cheating up the people. The fare which is shown up in the app is different, and the one they are asking by their own mouth, it is different. So that what it is manipulating your own people, and you're not abiding by the rules and regulations of that certain organization. Navigating the regulation. Understanding and adapting to local regulation is critical for the businesses. Uber's ability to operate in different markets often hinges on its compliance with the local transportation laws and regulation. I remember when in the start these apps, car app, carpool app were introduced, the local transport became expensive, and these were quite cheap. Although they were the AC cars, and we could literally set the fare by our own self. But now the market has become quite competitive. Why? Because first they have given high taxes to the government, now they are taking it back from the local people. Then we have market demand. In this, we have an example from Tesla in Norway. High demand for the EVs, this is the electric vehicles in strategic alignment. Norway has one of the highest per capita rates of electric vehicle EV ownership in the world. Tesla capitalized on this market demand by aggressively promoting its EVs, which align with the Norway's strong environmental policies and incentives for the EV purchases. There are so many universities in Norway, although it is not a big country, but again, the the demand of the EVs, of electric vehicles, specifically Tesla, is quite high there because people there they don't literally have a time to even eat proper food. They're always on a run for the professional life. Then strategic alignment. By understanding the high demand for the eco-friendly vehicles, Tesla was able to penetrate the Norwegian market effectively, benefiting from the government incentives and the supportive infrastructure for the EVs. Because of the infrastructure there, the constructors, which they're the buildings, the construction, whatever the things are to make the EV environment better, they have the Norway do have it. And the government, how they were able to penetrate into the market, the Tesla there, the government give them high subsidies. That is why they were low on the taxes. Then we have competition. In this, we have the example of the Samsung versus the local brands in India. I think you people have what brands are there in India for the phones?
Mobile, you're talking?
Yeah.
Which brand, ma'am?
Uh, Name any brand. Like I'm just asking in general. Do you know any name of the brand which are locally selling the phones in India? Like I think the organization called
Amul, Amul,
Tata,
maybe Amul is the local one.
okay.
Yeah, it's a Gujarat based and it's a dairy thing. Like they are producing butter and all that.
Okay. All right. Back to the brand. Competitive landscape. The first point for the competition is they always see what the landscape and the positioning of the market. Samsung faces stiff competition from the local smartphone brands like Xiaomi and OnePlus in India. Okay, these were the two brands which, other than Apple and Samsung, they are there to sell their phones. These brands often offer feature-rich smartphones at lower price points, appealing to the price-sensitive Indian market. Even like in Pakistan, we have Infinix and Cube Mobile. They just copy out the layout of the Samsung and Apple and they sell it to the local people and they are quite good. Market positioning. Samsung's strategy includes launching the budget-friendly models and enhancing the after-sales services to compete with the local brands. Understanding the competitive landscape helps Samsung refine its product
Ma'am?
offerings and yes, Samsung's strategy includes launching the budget-friendly models and enhancing the after-sales services to compete with the local brands. Understanding the competitive landscape helps the Samsung refine its product offerings and marketing strategies. Now, Samsung is a big brand, it's a multinational. The local brands of a country like India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, they cannot compete with it no matter what. But what they can do is they can copy that. They can copy their phones, their styles, their camera, their megapixels, their SD spaces, and they can sell it less than the cheaper prices to the local people. That is what least they can do. And according to the market landscape, like in China, the market of Apple is rigorous rather than the Samsung. In UK, people like literally everybody has Apple in their hand rather than having Samsung or the local brands. Then moving towards the conclusion, operating in the international market requires a nuanced understanding of the various factors that can influence the business success. Companies must be adept at recognizing and adapting to the cultural differences, economic environments, legal and regulatory frameworks, market demand, and competition. By tailoring their strategies to meet their specified needs or the conditions of the each market, businesses can enhance their global presence and achieve sustainable growth. Now, you want to show your presence to the world, to the market, to the industry. What you can do is you have to improve yourself. You can not stuck to one point. And that is how you're going to grow and you're going to achieve the sustenance as well. These examples demonstrate how different companies navigate the complexities of the international markets by customizing their approaches to align with the local conditions and the consumer preferences. We discussed every point and accordingly, we pursue that with the examples. Is it clear? The LO3?
Ye- Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Assessment criteria 3.1. Analyze the implication for the businesses of the cultural and the regulatory diversity in the international market. Again, you know that you need to focus on the command verb, that is analyze in detail, and rather than other than the word analyze, the main writing style is always the intro, main body text, and conclusion. The question is about the implications for the organizations or the businesses, specifically for the cultural and regulatory diversity. This is the key word here, the question for the international markets. This is what the word analyze means. Then, analyzing the implications of the cultural and the regulatory diversity in the international markets reveals both challenges and opportunities for the businesses. To succeed globally, companies must navigate these complexities effectively. That is, if you want to be successful in the market, rather than only working nationally, then the international, then you have to work on what? You have to work on your implications. That is, what problems do you incur or what XYZ issues are which you face during the, what do we call, in expanding up your business from national to the international level. The first point for this is cultural diversity. What are the implications of it? First, product adaptation, market strategies, and management practices. Product adaptation. Products and services may need to be tailored to meet the local taste preferences and the cultural norms. That is reality. What you have to do is you need to be familiar, you need to get familiar with the locality, with the locals, their taste, their style, their fashion sense, each and everything. Then the market strategy. Marketing campaigns must resonate with the local cultural values and avoid the cultural missteps. Now, what these are? Sometimes there are certain norms which are specifically for the market related. That is, we have a good reputation in the market, nobody can beat it, but this is wrong. There are certain organizations which are working day and night to making themselves to be better. Management practices. Different cultural attitude towards hierarchy, communication, and the work ethic can affect management practices and employee interactions as well. That is, using the laissez-faire style in very hard organization where you cannot communicate with the local people, with the local employees regularly. So this is not going to be a correct style of the leadership. You need to adjust each and everything according to the market. For example, McDonald's. Product adaptation. In India, where a significant portion of the population is vegetarian, again, the same thing, because of the vegetarian thing, majority is vegetarian, they are selling the veggie puffs and the vegetable related things, the one which are not consumed by the other people, the animals. Cultural sensitivity. This adaptation has helped McDonald's appeal to product to broad the consumer base in India, showing the respect for the local dietary practices. And McDonald's is quite common there. People out there, they love to eat McDonald's. I don't know why, but whenever we even in the TV serials or shows, the one thing which shows us love is McDonald's. Then we have culture sensitivity. This adaptation has helped the McDonald's appeal to a broad customer base in India, showing respect for the local dietary practices. That is, what is adapted and what is liked by the local people who are going to produce only those things. The example number B is of the Coca-Cola. Localized marketing and festive campaigns. Coca-Cola as Share a Coke campaign was customized in different countries by printing the popular local names on the bottles, like the name of the specific heroes and heroines were labeled on it. Even the country was labeled on the Coke bottles. So that was a strategy which was to introduce the localized market in different countries. Then we have festive campaigns. In Japan, Coca Cola often incorporates elements of the local festivals and traditions into its marketing campaigns, such as cherry blossom themed packaging during the spring. I really wish I could see it because the cherry blossom itself, weather is quite nice, it is quite eye appealing. But this is what specifically in Japan happens in this weather. Disney, another example. Theme park design and cultural respect. When Disney opened the Shanghai Disneyland, they integrated the Chinese cultural elements into the park's design and attractions. For instance, the park includes the Garden of the 12 Planets, which features the Chinese zodiac signs. Like the Dubai, they have a global village and they are depicting the different countries and nationality in one place. Cultural respect. Disney also ensured that their staff was trained in Chinese customs and the consumers' service expectations to provide a culturally respectful experience. That is, obviously, they might have given them the training that how to read them and how to communicate at the same time. Then we have another example for it.
Ma'am, here the main focus is on culture.
Yeah, because that is what the assessment criteria was cultural diversity.
Okay.
That is why. For example, Uber. Uber has faced significant regulatory challenges in the various markets. For instance, in the Europe, it has had to comply with the stringent regulations that govern the services. In London, the Uber was required to implement changes such as 24/7 consumer support and the ability for the passengers to book rides in advance due to the airport, the one at the Heathrow and one at the Luton airport. All the time the flights are landing and they're getting taken off. That is why it is quite busy. That is the reason the Uber is available there for 24 by 7. Then operational adjustments. These regulatory requirements forced Uber to adapt its business model and operations to ensure the compliance and maintenance or maintaining its license to operate. That is, you are directly related to the government, you are working under proper authority, and that is how things are working. Then we have the other part that is Google. Again, it is related to the organization, data privacy compliance, and global policy adjustments. Google had to adjust its data handling practices to comply with the European Union's General Data Protection Regulation, that is the GDPR. This is a regulation that is to be followed by the authority which are presiding in the European Union. This included the implementing new data protection measures, providing clearer data usage information to the users, and establishing mechanisms for the data portability and the right to be forgotten. Global policy adjustments. Compliance with the GDPR not only affected the Google's operation in Europe, but also influenced its data privacy policies globally, as it sought to implement a unified approach to data protection. These are those approaches and technicalities which need to be followed by each and every organization which are international. If we are not abiding by the land laws and regulation, then what will happen? We have to face heavy charges and taxes at the same time. Then we have here we will be discussing consumer protection laws and tax compliance. In the European Union, Amazon had to comply with strict consumer protection laws that governed issues like product returns, warranties, and transparency of the pricing. This required significant adjustments in their logistics and consumer service operation. Like when we return the parcel, we have to go through a lot of hassle. So This comes under the CPL. Tax compliance. Amazon has had to navigate the complex tax regulations in the different countries. For example, in India, the introduction of the goods and services tax, that is the GST, required Amazon to overhaul its supply chain and pricing strategies to align with the new tax structure. Whenever we literally buy a new product or anything, a goods for the daily lives, we are obliged to pay the GST taxes on them. Okay. Till now, are you getting the points?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, yes.
Then cultural and regulatory. This is what we are reading. That is why again and again we're talking about the cultural diversity. Cultural and regulatory diversity in international markets present both the challenges and opportunities for the businesses. Successfully navigating these complexities, both challenges and opportunities for the businesses. Successfully navigating these complexities requires a deep understanding of the local cultures and regulatory environments. By adapting the product's marketing strategies and operational practices to meet the local needs and comply with the regulations, businesses can enhance their global presence and competitiveness. So, this was the conclusion that how and why the cultural diversity is so necessary in each and every aspect of life. These are the strategic implications. First one, local expertise, flexible strategies, and continuous learning. Hiring the local experts or the consultants can provide valuable insights into cultural and regulatory landscapes. Developing flexible business strategies that can be adapted to the different markets is crucial. Local expertise. You want to run a business or you want to expand, what is necessary? You need to hire the consultants, the experts which are in the nation. Flexible strategies, developing flexible business strategies that can be adapted to the different market is crucial. Continuous learning. Staying informed about the cultural trends and regulatory changes help the business proactively address the potential issues. That is when you're up to date with each and everything which is going on into the market, then what happened? You know that how things are going to be and how each and everything or aspect is going to work. These examples highlight the importance of cultural sensitivity and regulatory compliance in achieving success in international markets. There?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.